More big celebrity names took the stage for day 3 of the Democratic National Convention. Sigourney Weaver was one. She went before the convention to introduce a climate change short film directed by James Cameron called Not Reality TV. And we are so pleased to have Sigourney Weaver joining us now. Sigourney, is this the first time you've been to a convention?
It's the first time I've ever been to a convention, and when you walk out on that stage, I guess people can't prepare you for the amazing panorama of all the Democrats from all the different states. It's just the most thrilling thing I think I've ever seen.
It's really fun, though, isn't it?
Yeah, really fun, and not as scary as I thought it would be.
Were you nervous about it?
Well, of course, I've never, I'm not a political speaker, but I was more excited than I was nervous, I guess.
Interestingly, Sigourney, to that point, you discussed climate change and introduced a film done by a collaborator of yours,
Yes.
Jim Cameron. And you actually you said in the speech, in lauding Hillary Clinton, that she understands that that is an issue that is not just politics, it's a moral obligation. What makes a Hillary Clinton presidency, in your mind, good for taking on this issue?
Well, first of all, she doesn't say things like it's a hoax. She has been all over our country visiting with people who are suffering in the droughts and in the storms and the floods and the fires. I mean, Americans are really suffering, and she is a very compassionate and caring, and I think a very practical leader. And I think that, Donald Trump is a denier, and we can't afford to have another presidency ever, or another, Republican House and Senate, when we have to take steps now all over the world to move from fossil fuels to greener energy. We have to start like tomorrow. We can start in November.
What got you into this? When did you decide this is something that's so serious I want to be part of it?
You know, I kind of grew up running around a sort of forest area, and I just have always loved nature so much. And I got into it really through the Bond Acts in New York to protect our water source, and then it just built. There's our planet is so beautiful, and the delicate balance of how everything works for all the species. We can't mess with it when we are messing with it, and I think there is a point where we can't reverse it. I hope we're not at that point. But when you see, my daughter was just looking in LA for a place to live, and they had to drive through that fire area. It was incredible. Everything was going to be wiped out, and it's everywhere in California. And you can't just say, oh, well, we had a drought this summer. It is, years long.
You're having one every summer, and you're having these fires one after another,
Yes.
and every one seems to be worse than the one before.
And every month, it also seems every month is the hottest on record. It's now, it's a roll call, like a drumbeat. I want to ask you about the film as well. James Cameron's involvement in this. Avatar, he has said, a hugely successful film that, of course, you were in, was an environmental film. It was speaking to a lot of the issues you just spoke to. What is it about this issue that inspires him?
I think that he's explored a lot of underwater areas, and he's been in environments which are already being seriously degraded. And I think, the coral dying and everything, he got involved very early. And I think actually I can safely say that the next 4 avatars will also have an environmental message, because essentially our story is about Pandora being looted for gain, and Earth is already destroyed. So it's a huge vision, but I think it's just always been part of the way he looks at things, and I think the film really demonstrates how serious the situation is. We just have to take steps. All of us, we have to make sure we elect people who will take it on and get stuff done, because too many Americans are going through terrible suffering already.
Sigourney, the policy experts who study this issue sometimes frame it as a national security issue because of conflicts over resources like water, clean water, etc. Do you see it that way? And do you think that enough attention is being paid in Washington in the broader political discussion about this issue?
I think we've got to heat up that discussion. I definitely think that that security is a big part of it. As it gets worse, there will be a scarcity of food and clean water, and it will become much more pressured. I also think it's a big part of our economy. You know, as you saw in the film, there's a farm that can't produce. The rancher is losing his cattle. It's all over our country. People cannot continue the way they have and their parents have. There are big changes afoot, and I really believe that our Congress and our president need to recognize the seriousness of it and really put it on the front burner, you know, in the next presidency. We've got to all work together to help each other because it's acute.
We also heard the remarks of Governor Martin O'Malley, who spoke just before you, acknowledging that, while not to call it a bright side, that there is a real potential for job creation as we attack the issue. There's another sense of the economy there as well.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of job creation, and I think, for instance, the Chinese are actually investing in green energy in a big way because they think it will be a very profitable sector. I think we have to do it for other reasons, and I think that the sooner we can stop burning coal and stop using oil, you know, it's inevitable. We don't have to use every single ounce of coal before we move over to green energy. And I think that's the plan for the people who own these coal businesses. They're just going to hope that they can just get away with burning every last ounce of it. We can't afford that.
Well, are you going to be more involved in politics now? I mean, just because of this? What is it? You going to come out of this convention?
Oh no! I mean, actually, I always try to get the vote out. I usually come down to Philly, actually, and go to visit a number of neighborhoods and knock on doors and stuff. And I think this year, I hope, you know, you guys have to go out too. You know? I mean, it's really, we have to really get, you know, I think it'll be so amazing if everyone who can vote really sends that message that they want a progressive, inclusive, caring leader who's going to find, you know, practical solutions to a lot of these overwhelming problems. And Hillary Clinton is that person. She's not, you know, making light of these huge situations, which I think is really a very discouraging thing to hear.
Do you know her? Do you know her?
I don't know. I mean, I've met her a few times. I've heard her speak a number of times. She's always struck me as someone with such integrity and such intelligence and such an amazing work ethic. And she really connects with people. And, you know, she's a woman and she's a mother. And I just feel like I really think we need that kind of energy in the White House. It's been wonderful to have President Obama, but now we need Hillary.
Well, do you think the fact that she's a woman, is that a big thing for you? First woman president?
Well, you know, it's really about Hillary for me, but I also think it's awesome to elect a woman. I mean, it's way overdue. Almost every European country has had, you know, a woman leader, you know, a few times, and we've not had one.
All right. Sigourney Weaver, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We really appreciate it.
It was great.
Thank you, Sigourney.
Thank you.